Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today we have a start collecting video for you, and today we're going to be looking at the contents of Cursed City, Warhammer Quest Cursed City, or you can have the contents of Radukar's Court here as well. Both of those are what we're going to be looking at building an army around. Now, this came about to me as I myself have a Cursed City set that I want to build a Soulblight Gravelords army out of. So I want to use the models inside Cursed City. They have rules for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. I want to see if we can get them on the table and make them into a fun army. This is by no means ever going to be the most competitive army on the table, but it does have some play and there are some cool things you can do with it. So today we're going to look at this in two different aspects. We're going to look at it as both the Cursed City box set, and we're also going to look at it as if you could get Radukar's Court and Radukar the Wolf as well, which you can now buy separately for a cost. Now, so let's talk a little bit about everything inside the box set, because there is a lot inside the Cursed City box set or Radukar's Court. So first of all, let's talk about Radukar the Wolf. And so a lot of you may be looking at Radukar the Beast, which is an absolutely amazing war scroll, and Radukar the Wolf is not terrible. He's probably not quite as good as his Beast Unleashed self, but he does have some cool abilities. So first of all, he's a decent little hero. 7 wounds, 4+ save, pretty nice. 4 attacks, 3s and 3s, rend 1, damage D3. He's a level 1 wizard. He doesn't know any extra spells, but now thanks to Soulblight Gravelords, he can pick one of the spells. He's got a command ability where he can add one to the attack characteristics of Soulblight Gravelord units wholly within 18 inch of him, which is really nice. So that's quite a big aura buff he can put out, which means some of our very small units he can actually get quite a few attacks onto them. He's got some cool abilities where he does mortal wounds thanks to his supernatural strength, and then he's also got the ability to palm off wounds to the Kasagi Night Guard if they're within range of him, very Cities of Sigmar style. We then have his Sword of Court. So we have Gorslav the Gravekeeper, and he is effectively our zombie buff person within the army. He's got a command ability where he can bring back Deadwalker units up to half strength. So if you get a Soulblight Gravelords unit that's a Deadwalker unit destroyed, he can bring back a unit of the same thing that's half the size. So pretty nice. He also gives some abilities to Deadwalkers where you roll a dust before you allocate a wound or mortal wound to this model, and he can palm them off to Deadwalker units near him. We then get Torgilius the Chamberlain as well. He's another wizard. He's effectively a little necromancer. His spell's pretty nice. Necrotizing Bolt, casting value 6. You can pick one enemy unit within 18 inch of him and subtract one from hit rolls. It's a nice spell. And what's really cool about this is you can potentially get him to have a couple of pieces of utility because he's already got a -1 to hit spell. He can take some other pieces of utility around with him. He also generates command points when he's near Radukar, very similar to how Cities of Sigmar Adjutant works next to the General on a 4+. If he's near Radukar at the start of a hero phase, you gain an extra command point. And he's also got a nice little 4+ DPR on himself as well. Next, we've got the Vargskier. Now, the Vargskier is the giant bat-like monster. It's got some decent hitting potential with 4 attacks at 3/3, rend 1, damage 2, and 1 rend 2 attack that's damage D3. It does ignore wounds on a 5+, so it's got a 5+ DPR, and it can attempt to charge when it is an 18 and rolls 3d6 for his charges as well. The Kasagi Night Guard are the giant ogres that are Radukar's bodyguard. As mentioned, Radukar gets to palm off wounds to them, and they've got 4 wounds apiece, so that's an extra 8 wounds effectively on Radukar there. You can add one to the attacks characteristic whilst they're within 12 inch of Radukar the Wolf. This stacks with Radukar's command ability, which gives +1 attack to all Soulblight Gravelord units within range of him. So you're going to get +2 attacks, which means they're going to go up to 4 attacks if they've got all the buffs on them. 3/3, rend 1, damage 2. Not too shabby. And they also have a 5+ DPR, which means they can get rid of some wounds on them as well. We then got the Vrikos Bloodborne. These are the 3 feral vampires in the box. They're nothing too special. They do have a nice 10-inch move with 3 wounds apiece though. 3 attacks, 3/3, rend 1, damage D3 is nice. And they ignore wounds on a 5+, so they're a pretty nice, fast, harassing unit that's going to probably kill a lot of chaff. Lastly, in the box set for Radukar's Court, we have Watch Captain Halgrim. So he has effectively some mortal wound splash from his weapon, but he's also got a command ability where he can add 4 inch to the movement of all friendly Death Rider units wholly within 18 inch of him. So this is pretty nice. He can give some extra movement here, which is really cool, and can make our Death Rider units a little bit faster. Now, if we picked up Cursed City as the box set and you've got that as you want to use an army, you've got 10 Death Rider skeletons and 10 Deadwalker zombies. We'll talk about them in a little second, but you also got them, so you've got some good starting points here for a full army. This will pretty much, if you've got the Cursed City box set, almost see you to 1,000 points straight out the gates. So, options. Where do we go from here? Well, for starters, if you haven't got some Death Rider skeletons and Deadwalker zombies, I definitely recommend going and pick them up. If you're going to start with like Radukar's Court and Radukar the Wolf instead of Cursed City, that's what you want to go pick up, I feel. Because you're going to want some skeletons to make use of the Watch Captain's abilities, and you're going to want some zombies to make use of Gorslav's abilities. So, you're going to need both parts there. Now, why you want to go pick up them is because they are both battle line. Now, you do have an option with the Deadwalker zombies in that you can also pick up Direwolves who are also battle line, though I feel the zombies, just due to the unit size, get a lot more out of Gorslav's ability to bring a unit back at half size rather than the Direwolves. That's not to say, though, Direwolves aren't a great pick later. They're a fast, harassing unit, and it is something you lack. You've really only got the Rikos Bloodborne and the Varkskia that do this, so having some other pieces in larger numbers is a great way to hold objectives that your Varkskia and the Bloodborne are taking people off. So you can leave the Direwolves behind because they follow up nice and quickly. Onto other units as well, Graveguard are a great pick. They're a Death Rider units, so they get all the abilities from Watch Captain Halgrim like the skeletons do, except they hit a lot harder. They're great weapons. While they wound on 4s, do 2 damage, and they do splash mortal wounds on 6s as well, which is really nice, just making this unit a great offensive piece that you really sort of do lack in those initial parts when you've picked up Radukar's Court. You don't really have anything that does damage, sort of like these Graveguard are going to do. They're a great unit for Soulblight Gravelords. But now that we've sort of talked about all of this, let's go put this all into practice, put it into a fun little army list, and see what we can do and how we can make this army work with all these cool models we've got from Cursed City. Alright, so here we have a little sample army list, 1,000 points for your Cursed City army. So, obviously, we're going to be playing in the Rikos Dynasty because everything inside of the Radukar's Court and Radukar the Wolf himself all have the Rikos keyword, so this means we're going to have to play inside it. It's pretty cool, though. What it does give us is it gives us reroll to our casters, so both Radukar the Wolf and Torgilius the Chamberlain are going to get rerolls to their casts, and also we're going to get the ability to gain +1 to wound for all our combat attacks whilst we're wholly within range of particular vampire characters. So this is Radukar in the army. So it can be really nice. We've got some really cool abilities we can play around with to really focus on in the force here. Rikos is just a really nice dynasty altogether. So, with that said, Radukar the Wolf, he's going to be our general. Now, we've got all 4 character slots filled out with named characters, so we're not going to get any command traits or artifacts in this army, but that's sort of the price we're paying for running Cursed City. He's going to be our general, and he's going to have the spell Amethystine Pinions. Why he's got this? Well, he is our most deadly combat character, and really, the vampire spells are all a lot of damage dealing stuff, and we generally do a bit of damage in this army anyway. And we have the reach with like the Varkskia and the Kasag and the Rikos Bloodborne, so we don't really need him to have an offensive spell. So Amethystine Pinions just allowing him to sort of float around where he needs to be. Also potentially giving +1 to wound to the Varkskia and the Rikos Bloodborne could be really nice if he's able to fly along with them. Gorslav's the Gatekeeper, Watch Captain Halgrim, they're both pretty much what they are. Gorslav's going to be hanging out with our Deadwalker zombies, of which we've got a unit of 20 in the army. Now, you do get 10 in Cursed City, but what's cool is if you just go pick up a brand new box of zombies as well, you're going to have enough in case you kill stuff before you start dying, so you're going to be able to bring models back as well. And just have those few extra models on hand in case you sort of start going above your unit size. Watch Captain Halgrim, he's going to hang out with the Death Rider skeletons to start with, and we've got 10 of them in the army, so that fills out our battle line with the skeletons and the zombies. And we've got Torgilius the Chamberlain. Now, as mentioned, he's got a -1 to hit spell, so we can go over Fading Vigor is his other spell, which is -1 attack, so we can really choose what we want to do. -1 to hit is great when they've only got 1 attack, or very few attacks at very high value, but Fading Vigor is generally better to try and lower the attacks. If anything's got like 2 attacks at, 3s, rend 1, damage 1, or damage 2, or D3, or whatever, Fading Vigor is definitely the spell you want to go with on them. And then in our other units, the Vargskia and the Vrikos Bloodborne, they're going to be our sort of units that are going to be able to fly up the battlefield and sort of take out our opponent's chaff and objective holders, pick off characters in the backfield. They've got some really cool abilities. And then Kasagi Night Guard, they're going to hang out around Radukar. And to round out the army, I decided to put the Suffocating Gravetide in. It's another spell we're going to have access to. It can provide some cover, help keep Radukar and our other characters safe. And what's cool about that is it also comes inside the Cursed City as a little token that's not the correct model for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So you're going to have to go get the endless spell. But, you know, I thought it was just thematic to include the Suffocating Gravetide in the army list here, considering everything that we've got inside the actual Cursed City game. Are you planning to run your Cursed City box set as an army in Warhammer Age of Sigmar? I can't wait to get mine finished painted up. We'll get it on the channel and we'll get playing. Love to know if you run it and have any success or have any fun with it at all. It looks like fun, at the very least. Yeah, it's not going to be the most competitive army in the world, but it looks like a ton of fun. Well, thank you all for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. While you're on YouTube as well, why not go check out my featured channel section where there's a bunch of other fantastic Warhammer Age of Sigmar content creators doing everything from battle reports, lore videos, painting videos, narrative games, tactical videos, and more besides that as well. And if you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here at Sinful Gaming, you can do so by following the link in the description of the video to our Discord server. Lastly though, we'd like to give a shout out to everyone who helps support the channel via Patreon and YouTube members. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. Thank you to our patrons, Christian Weir, James Soren, Chaos Spawn, AJC, Kenny Lowell, Outer and Shot First, James Crowder, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, Tim Newman, The Rising Ape, The Q Dynamic, Augustin Andreas, Lopez Diaz, and Anthony B. And thank you to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Firetine, Steve T, and The Real Zeop. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. If you'd like to help support the channel like they do and help us keep putting out Warhammer Age of Sigmar content and Warhammer content in general, please do go subscribe to Patreon or YouTube members in the description of the video below. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe everyone, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.